Ayan na siya, guys. This is the wrong thing to do kasi mag-melt yan. Another tip to remember when you're cooking is to give it your full attention. So, pag bigla akong nawala sa vlog, guys, alam niyo na. Hi everyone! Welcome back to my channel. I'm Ria Jose and this is Just Life TV. And today we're doing something different. Today is the start of something that I've been wanting to do for a long time, which is do a cooking vlog. I'm cooking something new. It's the first time that I'm gonna do this recipe. I don't know what to call it yet, but probably it's gonna be chicken puttanesca. If you want to know more about cooking, I am also leaving a lot of tips and tricks and reminders for people who don't know a lot about cooking. So, please keep on watching. What I've been doing lately is I've been planning a parang meal prep menu. I've been thinking of dishes that I can cook and then keep in the fridge for a long time without it spoiling. I have several reasons, but the primary reason talaga is so that I will avoid eating out. I will avoid having food delivered to me. Sorry, pasensya na kayo sa pawis ko, guys. My gosh. So the first thing that I'm gonna prepare today is something that I just made up in my head. I don't know if it's gonna work. This was supposed to be chicken thighs, pero naubusan ako ng chicken thigh. So these are what they call the adobo cut ng chicken. This is 6 pieces, which is sakto I think for 3 to 4 meals. Depende on gano'ng kagutom. My plan is to braise it or to stew it in a puttanesca sauce because I love puttanesca sauce. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put salt and pepper in the chicken while it's marinating a bit in the salt and pepper. I'm gonna show you some of the ingredients that I'm gonna use today. I'm gonna explain each ingredient. But if you're gonna go to the grocery, you know if you need it or not. First is you really need iodized salt. It's basic. Salt is not just to add saltiness to your dish, but salt brings out the flavor of the other ingredients. So, I'm sorry, wala akong measurements. And then, of course, you also need black pepper. This is another staple. A lot of people forget to use pepper when they cook. I put on a little black pepper. It's always salt and pepper, guys, for most recipes. A few people use white pepper, but if you have a discerning palate, may difference sa taste ng black and white pepper. It's more than just the color. Ayan. Just a little bit of salt and pepper. Before marinating your chicken, make sure you have patted your chicken dry. I'm just using a tong. Later on, I'm also gonna show you all the tools that I'm gonna use for this recipe. For my spices, my must-haves are rosemary and thyme. So if you're cooking mga Western recipes, rosemary and thyme are really important. I'm not gonna put it in the chicken now. Sa sauce ko na siya gagamitin later. Usually rosemary and thyme, any meat pwede talaga. Or if you're cooking gulay, seafood, it depends. Lalo na pag if you're doing sauces and you want depth ng flavor, these are very helpful. You should also have cayenne pepper for a little bit of heat. Iba yung spice ng cayenne pepper sa black pepper. And then, cumin. This is one of my favorites. I always have cumin. Ang cumin naman, it helps the meat have a meatier flavor. I don't know if that makes sense. Cumin is one of the spices that is often used for curry. So if you love curry, this is definitely something that you should try to have in your pantry. It has a bit of a smoky flavor. Mga sauces nyo have a little bit of parang meaty flavor or beefy flavor. I don't know if that makes sense, pero that's from my own experience. Basil is one of my favorites because it's herby and it has a distinct flavor. And I don't know, ever since I tried basil, I just really fell in love with it. So I put it in almost everything. I guess it differs from person to person, but for me, basil is one of those herbs that I use that I can use for practically any meat, any sauce, anything. Aside from the spices that I'm gonna use, the other ingredients of the sauce are, of course, I'm gonna be using olive oil. Guys, I swear this is not sponsored by any brand. It just so happened that most of the stuff that I bought are from the same brand. If you're wondering the difference between the regular olive oil and extra virgin olive oil, I'm not really sure in terms of how they are processed, how they are different. But usually extra virgin olive oil, you use it raw. So mga salad dressings, or drizzling it on your pasta, whatever. But for cooking, regular olive oil is just okay. The base of our sauce is really the tomatoes. Usually, I use stewed tomatoes. If I'm not mistaken, Del Monte na brand, but I wasn't able to find it in the grocery kanina, so I'm using diced tomatoes. Usually, I use the bigger chunks, but this time, since it's gonna be with meat, I don't want na super laki ng chunks ng tomato. So, just the diced one. Meron din silang whole na peeled. So, that's a good option. And of course, because I love tomato flavor, I have tomato paste. This is my first time to use the Jolly na brand. Usually, again, Del Monte yung ginagamit ko, but this was the first one that I saw. Not a lot of people are super in love with tomato flavor, but if you love ketchup, like me, and you love everything with tomato sauce, it's good to always have tomato paste in your pantry and in your sauces. The difference between tomato paste and tomato sauce, I'm not too sure, but tomato paste is usually, the taste is more intense. So, if you want to intensify the flavor, kasi usually yung mga tomato sauce natin, medyo light na siya, medyo mellow na yung taste ng tomatoes. So, sometimes, actually, like in this case, I don't want tomato sauce, I just want the tomato flavor and the color. So, I have the tomatoes and just the paste. I don't put tomato sauce anymore. But if I'm gonna cook a big batch for pasta sauce, definitely my tomato sauce ako nakasama. And for the other components, I have mushrooms. Since I really didn't want to chop up anything anymore, I want this to be a very easy recipe to follow. So, I recommend you buy the one na pieces and stems, tapos ito, easy open. I would actually usually use sliced green olives because, again, the taste is more mellow. This one is deeper. Sa mga pasta sauces ko, I actually use a combination of black and green. But wala akong nakitang green na sliced, so I'm just gonna use the sliced na black. In this recipe, we're totally not gonna use a knife. So the thing about Puttanesca sauce is there's really no, I think, standard recipe for it. So I was really planning on using 2 pans, but to make things easier, we're just gonna use 1 pan. So this is the frying pan that I'm gonna use. It's quite large. So I think 18 centimeters to siya. And hindi siya shallow. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna explain to you guys. I'm gonna fry the chicken over here. And then I'm gonna remove the chicken and then start making the sauce in the same pan. If you're wondering, the technique that I'm gonna do, so I'm not gonna be deep frying anything, it's just pan frying the chicken. If I'm not mistaken, I'm gonna be braising or stewing the chicken in the sauce. I was chatting with somebody earlier and sabi niya, pang social yung braising or stewing. No, actually, it's the same method that most people use for cooking adobo, caldereta, mga ganon. This one naman is just the ladle. So if you're gonna use a pan like this, na may coating na black, make sure that you are not using a metal instrument. I'm actually very worried because the tong might destroy it agad. Before doing anything else, you have to prep all your ingredients. It's important for you to prepare all your materials beforehand. Why? Because when you're already cooking, you don't have time anymore to measure, you don't have time anymore to slice, kasi masusunog na, especially when it comes to baking. That process of preparing your ingredients, it's called mise en place. Ayan, nag-mise en place ako, guys. So, these are the black olives, these are the capers, and this is the basil. And yung mga naka-hand ay naka-prepare na. We're gonna start cooking na. So, guys, before we do the cooking, I'd like to show you my ledger mania. Akong bumili nito, guys. Yes. I'm so proud of this. I'm so very, very proud of this. After a few months in our kitchen, ngayon ko lang siya gagamitin. You also have to prepare all the materials that you're gonna use beforehand. So, I'm preparing a plate kasi dito natin ilalagay yung chicken once it's cooked. Kasi we're gonna use the same pan for the sauce. Make sure that you are properly dressed for the kitchen. Do not wear sleeveless, although ako minsan nagsasando, sobrang init. Usually, I also wear an apron, pero hindi ko kasi mahanap yung apron ngayon. I turned it on. And hintayin lang natin na medyo uminit. Guys, it's important to know your own oven or stove. So, it's important to know the controls because it's important to control the heat while cooking. Some people kasi, basta high agad, gano'n. No. There's some types of dishes or cooking na dapat low heat, medium low, medium high. So, dapat mag-ila-ila mo sa inyong stove or oven. So, just a little bit of oil lang talaga. We're not gonna fully cook the chicken because we're still gonna braise it later. Kahit half cook lang, i-sear lang natin siya. Yung pan natin is not that large to accommodate all 6, so we're just gonna cook 3 at a time. Sana hindi ko kayo ma-disappoint. Moreover, sana hindi ko ma-disappoint yung sarili ko. Kasi first time kong gagawin tong recipe na to. you're frying chicken, hindi siya kasing talsik ng fish. Fish talaga super talsik. Huwag nyo masyadong galawin. Ayoko na masyadong nagagalaw pag I'm trying to sear something. Medium heat lang tayo guys, okay? So if you don't know this about me, but I took up culinary basic skills lang naman. I hope my education will not fail me for this vlog. Sana eventually makapag-bake din ako, no? So the goal of the pan frying, again, is not to cook the chicken. Take note guys that if you're cooking chicken, you have to make sure that it is fully cooked before serving it because, guys, mahirap na mag-food poison. So, ayan na siya guys. So, medyo golden brown na yung one side. So, now, it's okay na siya. Na-pan fry na siya. So, na-pan fry na siya guys. And it's not yet fully cooked. But that's okay kasi i-braise pa naman natin siya later. I'm really hoping this technique works. Because I have never done this on chicken. And chicken is very, very different from beef. Siguro next time, chicken cubes na lang yung bilhin ko. So, ayan. Medyo nakikita niya naman, medyo golden brown na siya. The 3 other pieces. Again, skin side down first. So, all the while, the chicken is also leaving some of its flavor to the pan and to the oil. If you guys have anything that you want me to share na recipe, I think I have quite a few naman na alam ko na kayang-kaya ko i-share. Hesitant ako mag-share ng recipes because usually I'd have to try, do a lot of kitchen tasking before sharing it. So this one, it can actually feed up to 3 to 4 people. It's nice to serve with salad and then a bit of crusty bread. Really good. Or pwede naman kayo mag-rice. Pwede rin alio-olio na noodles, na spaghetti. Again, make sure that you also sear the sides para pantay. So right now, I'm just cooking the other side. And then, in a while, papatayo ko din siya para ma-sear yung ibang sides ng chicken. Let's go to the sauce. Now we're done with the chicken. Nilipat ko na to low heat yung stove. So this is the part where you would usually put your onions, your garlic, but since I'm not doing that, mushrooms yung first I'm using the ladle already. So saute lang natin. If you're not being pa-healthy guys, pwede nyong i-sear yung chicken nyo and i-stir-fry yung veggies nyo and other ingredients in olive oil with a little bit of butter. But since I'm trying to be healthy, I'm trying to eliminate butter also in my cooking. Dati hindi ako nabubuhay ng walang butter guys, kung alam niyo. Since this is sauteing, not frying, you just have to continually stir para hindi din siya masunog. Ito yung mushrooms natin, diba? It's not whole. It's already stems and pieces. So, since you don't have control over the slicing of the pieces, medyo uneven siya. So, there will be parts na medyo matagal maluto. Okay lang naman, lalo na pag home cooking. Sometimes I would also use chicken stock for the braising, but yeah. Today we're just using water because we're trying to be healthy, we're trying to eliminate all those sodium and everything. Nasa-stress ako guys na healthy cooking. And then usually I would also add a little bit of red wine to this recipe. So we're gonna put the olives and the capers. The capers guys are salty yan siya. So, if you want it a little bit saltier, pwedeng more. Ako malamang maglalagay ako ng more. So, I think gusto ko siya dagdagan ng a little bit of capers and olives. So, salty din yung olives ha. If napapansin nyo, hindi pa ako nagsasalt and pepper. So, if you want measurement, so the mushrooms is 115 grams. The chopped olives, I think 1/4 cup. And the capers naman, it's also 1/4 cup. Or 1/4 or 1/8 cup. It really depends on you. Ako kasi I'm fond of olives and capers. So now that it has been sauteed, we can already put our tomatoes. Ayan na ang sauce. And just to intensify the flavor, I'm gonna put the tomato paste. Yung mga herbs, usually last ko na yan nilalagay. Hindi ko siya ubusin. Yan. So this is 150 grams. Dapat pala smaller lang. So mga 75 grams. It's kinda thick. So we're gonna put a bit of warm water. It doesn't have to be hot water, but you know, a little bit warm. Basta hindi cold. Naka medium high na siya. The sauce is almost ready. The next thing to do will be to put in the spices. So before putting your spices, have a taste. Sure that your teaspoon or your spoon is clean. Sobrang tomato yung taste. So I'm gonna put rosemary. Low heat na natin, guys, because it's starting to bubble. When it's starting to bubble, it's gonna boil. And we don't want it to boil. We just want it to simmer. Thyme. Cumin, of course, my favorite. And a little bit of cayenne. Actually, these herbs and spices, nilalagay ko rin talaga siya sa regular Puttanesca sauce ko. So, we're gonna put salt and pepper as well. But make sure that you are able to control the seasoning. So, the sauce is almost ready. So, lagay na natin yung basil. I'll just tear them apart. No need to chop. I love the smell of basil. So, make sure that your heat is on low only. And ito, medyo time consuming to, guys. Now, we will put back the chicken and we will fully cook it na in the sauce. You can already put everything kasi okay lang naman na mag-crowd. But not overcrowded, ha. Huwag naman yung sobrang punong-puno yung pan. It will take quite a while. The problem with braising or stewing is kailangan talaga siya bantayan. So, I'm gonna add another half cup of water. So, guys, if you have already started cooking, so mainit na siya, diba? Do not put cold water. And actually, room temperature hindi rin eh. Warm or like hot water is best para hindi bumaba yung temperature. So, that's already 1 cup total. Kanina half cup and then another half cup. Again, guys, hindi precise yung measurements. We'll just leave it there for 30 minutes. So guys, if you don't know the difference between simmering and boiling, boiling is yung pag malalaki yung bubble, simmering is ganyan lang, small bubbles. Can you see that? Yan. So, temperature control is very important when you're stewing or braising something. Ayan na siya, guys. They're chilling. I already took a taste, a bit. Sumobra ako ng black pepper and cayenne pepper, but it's okay. Masarap pa rin naman siya. And nababalance out naman siya ng sourness na diced tomatoes and tomato paste. Pinaboil ko na siya, guys. So, I'm just really actually waiting for the chicken to cook. And we're good to go. So, the chicken has been cooking for about 30 minutes. I just added a few more leaves of basil and then more rosemary and thyme just to balance everything out. And because I love the taste of those herbs, I keep on stirring para hindi masunog yung sauce sa bottom ng pan. And another thing to note, the best way really to measure or to see if your chicken is cooked is with a meat thermometer. But I can't find my meat thermometer, so I just found the thickest slice. I think ito yon. And then I sliced a bit up to the middle to see if it's cooked. And yeah, everything is cooked naman. So I'm just really letting the sauce reduce. And then in a while, I'm gonna take a few photos and I'm gonna transfer everything to the container for serving. It's almost done. Color is already a bit intense. If you don't want it too intense, you can add a bit more water or chicken stock para medyo magdagdag yung salt. Ako, I like it talagang a bit sour. So, I'm just gonna do a taste test again. I love the consistency of the sauce. It's thick, but it's not super thick or intense. Yung cayenne pepper, guys, beware because when you're tasting it, parang wala lang siya. And then suddenly, it hits you. It hits you lalo na sa back ng throat nyo. So far, I'm loving this sauce. So it's already cooked all the way through. And it's already fork tender na yung chicken. Ang lambot. I love it. So the chicken is cooked. The sauce tastes good. I'm not gonna eat this right now. It's already 3 a.m. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna turn off the stove. I'm just gonna let it cool a bit. So ililipat ko siya dito sa hindi mainit. So that it will cool a bit. And then I'm gonna put it in a container para ma-prep ko siya as meal. It looks good, it smells good. The sauce Tastes really good. So, titingnan natin siya. Ayan na. I just got one piece. So, I promised you that it will be fork tender. So, I'm just using spoon and fork. I love the sauce. So, harap to with noodles or rice, but on its own, it's already very good. The chicken is tender. My only problem is if I heat it in the microwave, sometimes ako compromise yung texture. But the important thing is it's already cooked all the way through, so I really don't have to microwave it for a long time. Obviously, I love Puttanesca sauce, so I automatically love this. But just make sure that if you guys are doing this for the first time, everything is to taste. So, do not put too much pepper like I did. Ang mistake ko kasi, it was my first time to use that pepper in that container. So, na-underestimate ko yung butas ng pepper shaker. So, medyo marami yung nabuhos. But it's okay. I'm fine with the peppery taste and the cayenne also. So, for beginners, I would suggest that you put it in a spoon first or in a small bowl before putting it directly. Do not put your seasoning directly into the pan. That was a mistake that I did. If you're not a fan of olives or capers, again, you can use finely chopped carrots, celery, and onions. And garlic as well. I wanted this na without those things, parang to eliminate lang the hassle. So, okay naman siya. I really love the taste of Puttanesca. I'm satisfied. So, I bought this type of container para dito ko na rin siya i-microwave and then I can already also eat it outright. So, I just put a little fresh basil on top because I love the basil taste talaga. And I portioned it 2 pieces per container. Ayan, naka-portion na sila. 2 pieces per serving. The thing with mga sauce na ganito, the more you keep it in the fridge, the better it will taste. But you cannot keep it there for a long time. Pag i-freezer ko siya, around siguro 1 to 2 weeks pwede. But since hindi siya naka-freezer, hopefully makain ko to within the week. The meat is tender, the sauce is really intense. For a lot of people, this would taste better with noodles or with rice. In my case, I'm fine with it na walang carbs. So this is a good option for me since I'm trying to lessen my carb intake. This would also be very good with crusty bread or ciabatta. Ciabatta is also good with this. Or toasted wheat bread if you want bread with this or if you want carb with this. Lalo na yung sauce, oh my gosh, it's really good, guys. If you want me to do a Puttanesca sauce with the noodles naman or any other type of recipe, let me know down below. I really appreciate your comments or your suggestions. I love cooking and I'm happy that I got started again. Hopefully, you will enjoy this journey with me. Not all my vlogs will be about cooking, okay? This will not become a cooking channel. Right now, siguro once a month, I'll try to do that. And the recipe will also be on my blog. I think I already have a spaghetti puttanesca recipe on my blog, Kusina Maria. That's my cooking blog. Thank you for watching. I hope you like this. Leave me a comment down below. Give me a thumbs up if you like this video. Give me a thumbs up then if you want more cooking videos or baking videos. If you have any baking or cooking questions, leave a comment down below or any suggestions for recipes that I should try to make. I guess 2 videos yung nagawa ko today. Watch out for the dessert video also. Don't forget to follow me on social media, read and follow my blogs. Subscribe to this channel, hit on the notification bell button so you will be updated if I have new uploads. I apologize for the way I look. This is really my get up when I cook. Thank you for watching. Bye! See you in my next vlog.